Hey guys, it's Hades Reviews here, and welcome back to another video of mine. Today we're going to be doing Anita Sarkeesian. I know it's kind of an old topic. She is very, very, very stupid. But I feel like we should do the latest video, which is basically like women in video games. Video video trumps it versus women in video games. So it's basically about butts. If you're really that important about butts, mate, then you should like get an actual life. It's a fucking video game. Anyway, let's do the video now. I'm gonna skip the obnoxious intro, so it doesn't bother you guys, alright?
If you want to get to know a character, learn about their interests, goals, or desires, their butt is probably not going to give you that information.
Okay.
It won't tell you much about who they are or what they're thinking or feeling at any
I mean, maybe a little bit, if they have a massive scar in their arm, they're probably gonna be feeling a bit upset, a bit sad, a bit hurt, just a tad.
given time. But video game designers often choose to put tremendous focus on the butts of certain characters while going to almost absurd lengths to avoid calling attention to the butts of others.
I love that she chose Watchdog of all characters, because the reason why he's wearing that sort of clothing is because he's trying to stay away from the limelight, trying to stay away from the police, like not noticing him, so not generally nobody noticing him, so he can do like his hacking skills on his phone, mate. Right, so that's why he wears clothes like that. Not because they just like, nah, mate, can't see anything in that shit.
These carefully crafted choices developers make about camera angles and clothing significantly impact how players think about and relate to these characters.
So while you're playing Tomb Raider, she's gonna bring up Tomb Raider. You're definitely just thinking about her as a sexual object, not the character that they bring out, not the like the scene she's in and the way that she feels in it, and just like the way she does things. You're gonna be thinking about her like, oh yeah, gonna bang the shit out of her. Oh yeah, baby.
Third-person games with female protagonists typically display those characters in a way that gives players a full-body view. A classic example of this is the original Tomb Raider games, which are presented from a third-person perspective wherein protagonist Lara Croft's entire body is visible. In these early Tomb Raider games, Lara's butt is typically right in the center of the screen, a camera orientation which, along with the sexualized clothing the designers choose to outfit her in, places a tremendous amount of emphasis on that part of her body.
Okay, that is not center, and there's a lot of games like that and back there. The only one I can think of is Mario. I think was it 64? Yeah, 64. Mario 64. Yeah, and that was like that. But and I don't think it's putting emphasis on her like rear end. That's not happening. She's just shown from the back, like because I don't know. I feel like it looks better, like just in a boy or a girl. Generally in games, it looks better. To be fair.
In dozens of third-person games with playable female characters, the character's butt is brought to the forefront, and that's where the player's focus is directed. In Batman Arkham City, for instance, the player's gaze is drawn to Catwoman's behind, which is emphasized by her costume and exaggerated hip sway.
No, you're definitely just looking at the eyes, boys. That's not a lie. I'm not gonna lie. That I feel like that is some part. Probably someone out there is going to be masturbating to that, but that's not how they work in 2011. I can understand maybe just slightly back in when Tomb Raider was made. Now you can just go on the internet, hentai. It's easy. And who's wanking to that shit, right? And you're definitely just looking at the arse, not the amazing, like Arkham. I think it was Arkham. Batman Arkham City. You're just looking at the rear end. You're not looking at the background, the great graphics, the just basically the scenery around it. It's amazing, actually. It's pretty good. I like it at least. But that's just me.
The ceremony! The Sisterhood will never forgive me if I am late.
Golden Axe Beast Rider makes extremely sure that we notice the protagonist's butt just before we take control and start playing.
She just cuts it there before she like slays every single guy there. Like you just completely forget about that just because she has a nice ass. You just can completely forget about the things she actually does. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you physically dumb? Are you physically retarded, man? What's wrong with you?
And here in Tomb Raider Underworld, to say that Lara's butt is being emphasized would be putting it mildly.
Incredible. The carvings are clearly similar to early Germanic design, but this is far older than the 5th century.
Okay, well, you purposely went down to see that, and when the camera was spinning around her, it was they wouldn't put an emphasis on it. It was there, but the whole movement is the same. It was like for like what 2 seconds, and she's found a tomb, a massive tomb, an old tomb, and you're completely discarding that. What? I don't know, guys. Seriously, like I think I might kill myself.
And this happens all too
You
often.
can't miss it.
Oh, so they did a spin, so they're putting emphasis right on the ass. Are you what is wrong with you? I see guys in video games do this, moves like this. And what about the guys that are like completely fucking buff as shit, mate? Like popping out, like Batman, like really buffing that shit. Yeah, what about that? I'm not like that. So, I mean, am I supposed to be like, this is offensive, boys. Let's fucking attack this shit. No, I'm not doing that, alright, shut up, mate.
Let's contrast the way that women's butts are emphasized with the sometimes absurd lengths taken to cover up or hide men's butts. If some of this footage looks jerky, that's because in some games, trying to get a glimpse of male characters' butts can feel a bit like wrestling with the camera. Common ways men's butts are hidden are by preventing the player from seeing below the character's waistline, or employing a more over-the-shoulder camera angle, which has the added benefit of keeping the character's butt safely out of the frame.
And you know what that is? It's because, like, let's be honest here. Who do you think is buying the games? Like generally, like actual video games, not like Candy Crush, Saga, games like that, games on your phone. It's teenage boys. That's the target demographic. Well, just men in general, males. That's who's buying it, and they don't really want to look at a male's straight guy. Want to look at a male's ass. To be honest, like that's just how it is. And the fact that you say it's an over-shoulder camera point, whoa, so what, mate? You can still see the back of the head, mate. Fucking hell, whew, that's a nice back of the head there. I'm a wank to that shit.
The most amusing solution is to simply include a cape, tunic, long coat, or very conveniently positioned piece of tattered fabric, which actively prevents the player from getting a clear or sustained look at the protagonist's butt.
So she chose Assassin's Creed and a Watchdog. I'm sure there was a couple in there, but a cape. Now, oh my god, the fact that Assassin's Creed wears that, it's because it's an assassin. That's the whole point of the game. He doesn't particularly want to be spotted by the guys, although he kind of does stick out a little bit. And Watchdog, I said this earlier, he's trying to be in cover. He's not trying to be seen by the other guys, alright? Or you're dumb or something. You're stupid. Go fuck yourself.
For the purposes of this video, I tried to get a glimpse of Batman's rear end, but it's as if his cape is a high-tech piece of Wayne Industries equipment designed to cover up his butt at all
This
costs.
is where I actually lost my shit in the video. Like, are you actually kidding me? Batman's always wear a cape? Why would you choose a game like that to, like, symbolise you couldn't look at a guy's ass? And if you're too fucking busy trying to look at that guy's ass, why are you playing the game? Like, seriously, why are you playing the game? If you're that interested, just go online, such as in porn, do that shit. Don't be playing video games just to try to look at a female's ass, or some titties, or a guy's ass. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that shit? Just go on Pornhub, mate. Seriously, it's free. You don't have to pay £30 for fucking Pornhub. Seriously, like, I actually want to kill myself now. Like it. So, can someone send me the news? Seriously, mate.
I like to jokingly refer to this aspect of a male character's costume as the strategic butt covering.
The only joke here is you.
Of course, not all games with male protagonists keep the character's butt obscured or out of frame like these games do. The real issue is one of emphasis and definition. A significant portion of third-person games with female protagonists call attention to those characters' butts in a way that's meant to be sexually appealing to the presumed straight male player.
First of all, I don't really think that ass was nice, so what was the point of doing that? The first one and this one, the second one she shows, and the fact that she said straight male boys, that's generally that's been throughout the whole like video game industry. That's generally who's been like buying the stuff and playing it. That it hasn't really changed. If you take away like fucking phone games, like who That's just a pastime, alright? Well, so is games. But you know what I mean, like, it's more, like, outside and stuff. But yeah, it's generally boys, and you're still disregarding the fact that what they actually do. What have you actually discussed what they actually do in the video games? Lara Croft's pretty much a badass, to be fair. She finds tombs, she fights enemies, like just like a guy would do in a video game. And you just regard it as, no, they're trying to sexualize her. Get over it, mate. Get over it, just because you're an ugly bitch.
In this regard, the way that women's bodies are depicted is significantly different from the way that men's bodies are depicted. There are a few examples of male protagonists who are wearing clothing that calls attention to their butts, but for the most part, men's butts, even when visible in the frame, are de-emphasized.
Well, the first two examples, they were like exactly the same as the two examples you used before about girls. They were like small asses, they were in tight clothing. So, what's your problem with those two games, mate? And, what, fucking the ninja guy? Yeah, he's wearing baggy clothing, so he can, like, climb up fucking walls, and shit like that. So I don't get why you're complaining, mate. Just, like, actually kill yourself.
Plenty of male heroes wear baggy pants or jeans, Uncharted's Nathan Drake among them, but nothing about his visual design or the jeans he's wearing encourages you to focus on his butt as some sort of defining aspect.
What are you on about? In the image you showed, it's the exact same as from Tomb Raider. So how is it not a defining feature? If people don't make it a defining feature, then that's fine, mate. Then the player can decide what's a defining feature themselves, and they're probably not thinking, that girl has a nice ass. I'm pretty sure I'm going to play this game forever now. They're probably playing it because of, the gameplay. The gameplay is all that matters in games, generally. Graphics somehow. Minecraft's pretty good, actually. But yeah, they're not thinking that I'm just going to play this because she has a nice ass. Like, just go on Pornhub if that's what you think, mate. Literally. If anybody's doing that, go onto your computer, or might already be on your computer, or you're on your phone, actually, to be fair. Search up Pornhub on Google, and type in anything you want, actually, on the top. All there's categories and stuff, alright? So, just do that if you're actually that, desperate, alright? So kill yourself.
Of his character. By contrast, this emphasis on the butts of female characters communicates to players that this is what's important. This is what you should be paying attention to. It communicates that the character is a sexual object designed for players to look at and enjoy.
Oh, come on now, you're just lying to yourself here, mate. Come on now. That is not a defining feature. That's not what is important. Alright? If you're paying that much for a video game just to be like, oh yeah, baby, then go on porn, mate. They have hentai for that shit. Like, you can actually see full frontal nudity for that shit. Alright? A hentai, full frontal nudity for that shit. Granted, it may be animated, so it's a fucking video game. So why are you complaining? Oh, it's a defining feature, and this is what's important. No, it's not. After you get past the fact that they're just the fact that they're, pretty, then you can just play the video game. It doesn't really matter, but the fact that she's pretty and she has a nice ass. Fucking stop complaining, alright?
And by explicitly encouraging you to ogle and objectify the character, the game is implicitly discouraging you from identifying directly with her. Strategic butt coverings and camera angles that obscure characters' rear ends are not an accident. They are a conscious decision made with great care, and the flip side of this is that designers often do the opposite when the protagonist is female. This difference in how male and female characters are framed often extends into the advertisements and box covers. Women's butts are front and center, and it's even become a depressing joke that their bodies are twisted and contorted in uncomfortable or unnatural ways so that their breasts and butt can be visible in the same shot.
I love that in the second point, the arcade game. She's not even human, mate. I've never played the game. She might turn human, but by the cover, she's not even human. So how no one's gonna be like, yeah, mate, that is damn fucking sexy. And the fact that they just show a bit of ass, you're complaining about that. The fact that they have a nice ass, they might not. Like the game, some of the games you show, they don't. Like, I'm not the supreme judge, but come on now, come back down to earth. And the fact that they're like that, just thinking about the target demographic, mate. Little straight male boys are, that's what they're generally the target demographic is, because like that's how it's always been. Like I wouldn't make makeup and design it for boys. It just wouldn't work. That's just generally how it works.
In contrast, when men are depicted from behind, there's great effort taken to cover up their rear end, often with other images or shadows.
Okay, what about God War 2? I think it was. Just because his everything else is off, but his like ass, he's even wearing a dress, and he's buff as shit, might I add. Um, I might be jealous of him, you know. He's pretty well. He's kept well of himself, you know. I'm not like that, and the fact that they get covered up, that's because generally little kids, male boys, straight, 15 probably, don't want to be seeing that shit. I like. That's the target demographic. Alright, kill yourself.
Of course, female characters can also be framed in ways that aren't objectifying. A good example of this is the episodic adventure game Life is Strange, in which the protagonist's butt isn't emphasized or centralized. The camera angles work in conjunction with the story to encourage us to identify with her as a human being.
And you get past the fact that she has a nice ass. There's like 99% of the time, like be with the character, the female character. You're know how she's feeling. You're like just be in the be in the moment with her. Like you'll be like when it's an intense moment, you'll be with her, right? And just the fact that she looks good, that means the whole game is ruined for you, or just the fact that she looks good, you're feeling bad about yourself. Like I see a buff guy, and I'm not jealous, alright? I'm not jealous in the slightest, and I don't get why you're. Is it jealousy? Is it jealousy? Are you jealous? I really don't know.
Sadly, the box art for the third-person action-adventure game Beyond Good and Evil emphasizes and sexualizes Jade's butt.
Look, how is that centralizing on her ass? Alright, she's got some rope there in the first place, alright, so you're not seeing that shit. She has baggy trousers on, that's enough anyway, and she has a bag on as well. Is that holding the rope? I don't know, that's holding the rope, I believe. If anything, it's centralized on her face, like the way she's just about to turn and go into the tomb, and about to beat up some shit. Again, you're not like focusing on the actual player, the actual character of the game.
The game itself, however, demonstrates that the Nathan Drake approach of outfitting a character in clothing that doesn't emphasize their butt, and not having the camera center it or focus on it, can work just as well to humanize female characters as it does for male characters.
It didn't centralize her ass in the first place, so, you know.
So to be clear, the solution here is not to simply show more butts of male characters. Equal opportunity butt display is definitely not the answer. Rather, the solution is to de-emphasize the rear ends of female characters so that players are encouraged not to ogle and objectify these women, but to identify and empathize with them as people.
Alright, so first of all, the targeted demographic talked about that, and the fact that she has a nice ass, so what? Like, actually, so what? Like, who cares? Like, the guy's buff as shit, so, you know, don't see you complain about that one. And if you're an actual gamer, you'd understand it's about the gameplay. Yeah, mate, not an actual gamer, are you? Anita, sarkeesian. Are ya? Oh, yeah.
This is not an impossible task, given that game designers do this all the time with their male characters. It's time they started consistently doing it with their female characters, too.
Alright, that's never going to stop happening. They're always going to sexualize women in video games. I put that very lightly. But yeah, that was a video. And that was a... mate, that was a whale of time, guys, anyway, wasn't it? I'm actually proud to do this video, because I actually got to do the latest video. I always end up doing it late. Like a, you know, Lacy Green video. I done it late, so I'm proud that I got to do it. I believe it was about 2 days ago that it was made. And yeah, I will see you guys later, and peace.